If you're over 60 and waking up feeling weaker, more tired, and watching your muscle mass disappear despite eating well, the problem might not be your age. It could be 3 critical minerals your body is desperately crying out for every single night, and most people have no idea they're running on empty. What I'm about to share with you today has transformed the lives of hundreds of my patients who thought their best years were behind them. I'm Dr. Michael Turner, and I've been practicing geriatric medicine for over 20 years. In my clinic, I see the same pattern repeating itself week after week. Active, independent seniors coming in confused about why they're suddenly struggling with things that used to be effortless. Climbing stairs feels like scaling a mountain. Opening jars becomes impossible. And that vibrant energy they once had, gone by noon. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. This isn't just aging. This is often a silent mineral deficiency crisis happening right under our noses. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly recommend hitting that button and turning on notifications so you never miss another health tip designed especially for you. If you find this video helpful, please leave your questions and video suggestions in the comments. I read every single one, and it helps me create more content to help people just like you. Let me tell you about Maria Santos, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Sao Paulo who walked into my office 6 months ago. Maria had always been the backbone of her family, the one who cooked Sunday dinners for 15 people, tended her garden, and played with her grandchildren for hours. But over the past year, something changed. She started feeling exhausted all the time. Her legs felt heavy. Her muscles ached constantly. She'd wake up multiple times at night with painful cramps in her calves that left her crying in frustration. "Dr. Turner," she told me with tears in her eyes, "I feel like I'm disappearing. My arms look thinner. I can barely lift my grandson anymore. I'm only 72, but I feel 90. When I ran comprehensive blood work, the results shocked me, though they didn't surprise me. Maria was severely deficient in 3 critical minerals that your muscles absolutely need to function, repair, and maintain their strength, especially after 60. You see, as we age, something fundamental changes in our bodies. Our digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients. Our kidneys don't conserve minerals as effectively. Many medications that seniors take actually deplete these essential minerals. And perhaps most importantly, the same amount of these minerals that worked perfectly when you were 40 is completely insufficient when you're 65. Your muscles are literally starving, and they're breaking down a little more each day. The first mineral I need you to understand is magnesium. Now, I know you've probably heard about magnesium before, but let me explain why this mineral is absolutely critical for anyone over 60. Especially if you're concerned about muscle loss and energy. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. But here's what most people don't realize. It's the master mineral for muscle function and energy production. Every single time your muscle contracts and relaxes, magnesium is orchestrating that movement. It's required for your cells to produce ATP, which is the energy currency your body runs on. Without adequate magnesium, your muscles can't relax properly after contracting, which leads to those painful nighttime cramps that so many of my senior patients complain about. But it goes deeper than that. Magnesium is essential for protein synthesis, which means without enough of it, your body cannot build or repair muscle tissue, no matter how much protein you eat. Let me share another case. Mr. Roberto Ferreira, a 68-year-old former construction worker from Rio de Janeiro, came to see me because he was experiencing something terrifying. He'd wake up in the middle of the night with his heart racing, feeling anxious for no reason, unable to fall back asleep. During the day, he felt constantly fatigued and weak. His wife noticed his mood had changed. He was irritable and depressed. Roberto told me, "I worked construction for 40 years, doctor. I built buildings with these hands. Now I can barely hold a hammer for 10 minutes without my arms shaking. And at night, forget about it. I'm up every 2 hours. My legs cramp up so badly I have to walk around the house. My wife is worried sick about me." When I tested Roberto's magnesium levels, they were dangerously low. But here's the thing that makes this so insidious. Standard blood tests often show normal magnesium levels even when your cells are depleted. Why? Because your body will pull magnesium from your muscles and bones to keep blood levels stable. So by the time a blood test shows low magnesium, you're in serious trouble. Roberto's symptoms, the muscle cramps, the poor sleep, the anxiety, the weakness, they were all classic signs of cellular magnesium deficiency. If you're still watching and finding this information valuable, comment below so I know you're with me on this journey to better health. Now, why does magnesium deficiency become so common after 60? Several reasons. First, stomach acid production decreases with age, and you need adequate stomach acid to absorb magnesium properly. Second, many medications that seniors take are magnesium thieves. Proton pump inhibitors for heartburn, diuretics for blood pressure, even some diabetes medications deplete magnesium. Third, stress and poor sleep create a vicious cycle. Low magnesium causes poor sleep, and poor sleep depletes magnesium even further. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you take magnesium at night, specifically before bed, you're working with your body's natural rhythms. Magnesium helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. It increases GABA, a calming neurotransmitter in your brain. It relaxes your muscles and blood vessels. This is why I always recommend my patients take magnesium in the evening. It prepares your body for deep restorative sleep, and that's when all the magic happens. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which is essential for muscle repair and maintenance. But here's the catch. You can't get into deep sleep if your magnesium is low. It's a cruel irony. The mineral you need for muscle recovery is also the mineral you need to achieve the quality sleep where muscle recovery happens. But if that surprised you, wait until you hear about the second critical mineral, zinc. Now, I know zinc gets a lot of attention for immune function, especially since the pandemic, but its role in muscle health and energy after 60 is absolutely game-changing, and almost nobody talks about it. Zinc is the spark plug for protein synthesis. Every time your body tries to build or repair muscle tissue, zinc is at the center of that process. It activates the enzymes responsible for creating new muscle proteins. It helps your cells read the genetic instructions for building muscle. Without adequate zinc, you could eat all the protein in the world, and your body still couldn't effectively turn that protein into muscle tissue. But zinc does something else that's critically important for anyone over 60. It regulates testosterone levels in both men and women. Yes, women need testosterone too, just in smaller amounts. Testosterone is essential for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, energy levels, and motivation. After 60, testosterone naturally declines, but zinc deficiency accelerates that decline dramatically. Let me tell you about Dona Helena Oliveira, a 75-year-old widow from Belo Horizonte who had always been fiercely independent. Helena lived alone, did her own grocery shopping, managed her own finances, and volunteered at her church 3 times a week. But over 18 months, her family noticed alarming changes. She started losing weight, but not in a healthy way. Her clothes hung off her frame. Her face looked gaunt. She had no appetite. She caught every cold and flu that went around. And perhaps most concerning, she seemed to have lost her zest for life. Her daughter brought her to my clinic, worried that Helena might have cancer or some other serious illness. "Dr. Turner," Helena said weakly, "I just don't have the energy anymore. Everything feels like too much effort. I look at my arms and legs and they're so thin. I used to have strong legs from all my walking. Now I feel like a fragile little bird that could break at any moment." Comprehensive testing revealed that Helena had severe zinc deficiency. Her immune system was compromised, her protein metabolism was dysfunctional, and her body was essentially consuming its own muscle tissue for nutrients. The most heartbreaking part? Helena's diet wasn't terrible. She ate meat, beans, and vegetables. But at 75, her digestive system wasn't absorbing zinc efficiently anymore. Here's what happens with zinc deficiency in seniors. First, you lose your appetite. Zinc is crucial for taste and smell, so when you're deficient, food becomes bland and unappealing. This creates a downward spiral. You don't feel like eating, so you eat less, which means even less zinc, which further suppresses your appetite. Meanwhile, your immune system weakens, making you more susceptible to infections. And every time you fight an infection, your body uses up more zinc, depleting your reserves even further. But the impact on muscle is particularly devastating. Without adequate zinc, the satellite cells in your muscles, the cells responsible for muscle repair and growth, can't function properly. Your body can't produce the insulin-like growth factor that stimulates muscle development. Your testosterone levels plummet. The result? Rapid muscle wasting, especially in people over 60 who are already fighting against age-related muscle loss. Now here's why taking zinc at night is strategic. Zinc absorption is actually improved when taken with some fat and away from calcium-rich foods, which many people consume at dinner. But more importantly, zinc taken before bed supports the overnight muscle repair process. Remember, your body does most of its healing and rebuilding while you sleep. Zinc ensures that those processes can happen efficiently. There's also emerging research suggesting that zinc helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock. For seniors struggling with sleep disruption, which is incredibly common, zinc can help restore more normal sleep patterns. Better sleep means better muscle recovery, more energy during the day, and improved overall health. But we're not done yet. The third mineral might be the most overlooked of all, yet it's absolutely essential for anyone concerned about muscle strength and daily energy. I'm talking about potassium. Most people think of potassium as the banana mineral, important for preventing cramps maybe, but not much else. That couldn't be further from the truth. Potassium is the most abundant mineral inside your cells, and it's absolutely critical for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and maintaining proper fluid balance. For seniors, potassium deficiency is a hidden epidemic that's destroying quality of life and independence. Let me share the story of Senor Carlos Mendez, a 70-year-old retired mechanic from Curitiba. Carlos prided himself on his work ethic and his hands. These hands, he'd say, built engines, fixed cars, supported my family for 5 decades. But something started going terribly wrong. Carlos began experiencing extreme fatigue. His muscles felt weak and heavy, especially his legs. He'd get dizzy when standing up quickly. His heart would occasionally race or skip beats, which terrified him. The worst part for Carlos was the mental fog. "Doctor," he told me, looking genuinely frightened. "Sometimes I forget what I'm doing mid-task. I'll walk into a room and have no idea why I went there. My family thinks I'm getting dementia. They're talking about me not living alone anymore." The fear in his voice was palpable. Carlos wasn't ready to give up his independence, but he was scared of what was happening to his body and mind. When I ran a comprehensive metabolic panel on Carlos, his potassium levels were sitting right at the low end of normal. Now, here's the critical thing most doctors miss. Normal range doesn't mean optimal, especially for seniors. Carlos was experiencing symptoms of inadequate cellular potassium, even though his blood work looked acceptable on paper. You see, your body will do everything possible to keep blood potassium levels stable, because if they drop too low or go too high, your heart can stop. So your body pulls potassium from your muscles, your bones, wherever it can find it to maintain blood levels. By the time blood tests show low potassium, you're in crisis. But long before that, your muscles are starving for potassium and they start breaking down. Potassium works hand in hand with sodium to create the electrical charges that allow your nerves to fire and your muscles to contract. When potassium is insufficient, this entire system malfunctions. Your muscles can't contract properly, leading to weakness. Your nerves misfire, causing that mental fog and confusion. Your heart rhythm can become irregular, which is extremely dangerous for seniors. But there's another aspect of potassium that's crucial for anyone over 60 trying to maintain muscle mass. Potassium is alkalizing, which means it helps balance the acidity in your body. As we age, our bodies tend to become more acidic, and in an acidic environment, your body breaks down muscle protein to use as a buffer. This is called metabolic acidosis, and it's a major contributor to age-related muscle loss. Adequate potassium helps prevent this muscle-wasting process. Now, why do seniors become potassium deficient? Multiple reasons. First, many common medications are potassium thieves. Diuretics for blood pressure or heart failure flush potassium out through your urine. Laxatives, which seniors often use for constipation, also deplete potassium. Even some inhalers for asthma or COPD can lower potassium levels. Second, kidney function naturally declines with age, and your kidneys regulate potassium balance. When they're not working optimally, potassium regulation becomes problematic. Third, many seniors don't eat enough potassium-rich foods. They need about 4,700 milligrams per day, but most get less than half of that. Taking potassium at night serves a specific purpose. Potassium helps regulate fluid balance, and maintaining proper hydration in your muscle cells is essential for muscle function and recovery. When you're well hydrated at the cellular level, your muscles are stronger, less prone to cramping, and better able to repair themselves overnight. Potassium also helps reduce blood pressure naturally, which tends to be higher at night in many seniors, reducing cardiovascular stress while you sleep. If you're still with me and finding this valuable, let me know in the comments. Your engagement helps me reach more people who need this information. Now, let me tell you what happened to Maria, Roberto, Helena, and Carlos when we addressed their mineral deficiencies. The transformations were remarkable, though they didn't happen overnight. This is important to understand. Your body didn't become deficient in a week, and it won't fully recover in a week either. But the improvements were steady and dramatic. Maria started taking a combination of magnesium glycinate, zinc picolinate, and potassium citrate every evening before bed. Within 2 weeks, her nighttime leg cramps disappeared completely. By 1 month, she noticed she was sleeping through the night for the first time in over a year. By 3 months, she had regained noticeable muscle tone in her arms and legs. When she came for her 6-month follow-up, she was back to cooking Sunday dinners, working in her garden, and playing with her grandchildren. "Dr. Turner," she said with a huge smile. "I feel like myself again. I didn't realize how much I had lost until I got it back." Roberto's transformation was equally impressive. The nighttime heart palpitations and anxiety stopped within 3 weeks. His muscle strength began returning gradually. By 2 months, he was back in his workshop doing light woodworking projects. His mood improved dramatically. His wife told me, "I have my husband back. That irritable, depressed man isn't who Roberto really is. He's joking again, laughing, engaged with life." Helena's recovery took longer because her deficiency was more severe, but the progress was undeniable. Her appetite returned within the first month. She started gaining healthy weight. Her immune system strengthened. She stopped catching every bug going around. By 6 months, she had regained most of her lost muscle mass. Her daughter called me in tears saying, "Thank you for giving us back our mother. She's volunteering again. She's independent again. She's happy again." Carlos's story might be the most dramatic. Within weeks, the mental fog lifted. The dizziness and heart irregularities stopped. His muscle strength returned gradually but consistently. At his 1-year follow-up, he was back to doing light mechanical work in his garage, helping neighbors with their cars. "Doctor," he said, gripping my hand firmly, "these hands work again. I'm not ready to be put out to pasture yet, and thanks to you, I don't have to be." Now, before you rush out to buy supplements, we need to have a serious conversation about safety and proper implementation. This is crucial. While these 3 minerals are essential and can be truly transformative, taking them incorrectly can be dangerous, especially for seniors who may be on multiple medications or have underlying health conditions. First, you absolutely must talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement regimen. This isn't just legal disclaimer talk. This is genuinely important medical advice. Your doctor needs to know your full medical history, your current medications, and your existing health conditions before you start supplementing with minerals. Why is this so important? Because minerals can interact with medications. Magnesium can interact with antibiotics, blood pressure medications, and bisphosphonates for osteoporosis. Zinc can interfere with certain antibiotics and penicillamine. Potassium is particularly important to monitor if you're on any heart medications, blood pressure drugs, or have any kidney issues whatsoever. Second, more is not better. In fact, with minerals, more can be dangerous. Too much magnesium can cause diarrhea, nausea, and in extreme cases, dangerous drops in blood pressure. Too much zinc can actually suppress your immune system, interfere with copper absorption, and cause nausea. Too much potassium can cause heart arrhythmias, muscle weakness, and be potentially fatal if you have kidney disease. The forms of these minerals matter tremendously. Not all supplements are created equal. For magnesium, I generally recommend magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate for my patients over 60. These forms are well absorbed and gentle on the digestive system. Magnesium oxide is cheaper, but poorly absorbed and more likely to cause digestive upset. For zinc, zinc picolinate or zinc citrate are excellent choices with good absorption. Avoid zinc oxide, which is poorly absorbed. For potassium, this one requires extra caution. High-dose potassium supplements are actually regulated because of the potential dangers. Many of my patients get adequate potassium through food sources like bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados, and white beans, supplemented with lower-dose potassium citrate if needed under medical supervision. Timing and dosing are also critical. For magnesium, most adults over 60 benefit from 300 to 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium taken in the evening. For zinc, 15 to 25 milligrams is typically sufficient. More than that for extended periods can cause problems. For potassium, needs vary widely based on diet, medications, and kidney function, so this absolutely must be individualized with your doctor. Blood testing before and after starting supplementation is important. Get a baseline to understand where you're starting from, then recheck after a few months to ensure you're moving in the right direction without overdoing it. Your doctor may want to check not just the minerals themselves, but also related markers like kidney function. I also need to address something I see all the time in my practice. Seniors who start supplementing minerals feel better after a few weeks, then stop taking them thinking they're cured. Mineral deficiency isn't like an infection that you treat and it's gone. If the underlying factors that cause the deficiency are still present, your diet, your medications, your age-related absorption issues, you'll become deficient again. Think of mineral supplementation as maintaining your nutritional foundation, like changing the oil in your car. It's ongoing maintenance, not a one-time fix. The patients who get the best long-term results are those who make supplementation part of their daily routine, just like brushing their teeth. Let me also talk about dietary sources, because supplements should complement a healthy diet, not replace it. For magnesium, focus on dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, dark chocolate, and whole grains. For zinc, oysters are the richest source, but also beef, pumpkin seeds, lentils, and chickpeas. For potassium, bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados, and white beans are excellent. However, and this is important, for most seniors, diet alone isn't enough to correct an existing deficiency or maintain optimal levels once you factor in reduced absorption, increased needs, and medication interactions. This is why targeted supplementation under medical supervision is often necessary. The bigger picture here is understanding that successful aging isn't just about accepting decline, it's about identifying and correcting the deficiencies and imbalances that accelerate decline. Your body is designed to function well for decades longer than most people experience, but it needs the right raw materials to do its job. These three minerals, magnesium, zinc, and potassium, are foundational for muscle health, energy production, and overall vitality after 60. They work synergistically, meaning they're more effective together than separately. Magnesium helps with muscle relaxation and sleep quality. Zinc drives protein synthesis and hormone production. Potassium maintains fluid balance and prevents muscle breakdown. Together, they create the conditions for your body to maintain and even build muscle, generate consistent energy, and function optimally. But let me be absolutely clear about something. These minerals are powerful tools, but they're not magic pills. They work best as part of a comprehensive approach to healthy aging. You still need adequate protein intake, typically about 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight for seniors trying to maintain muscle mass. You still need resistance exercise, even if it's just body weight exercises or light weights at home. You still need quality sleep, stress management, and proper hydration. Think of these minerals as the foundation of a house. You can have beautiful walls, nice furniture, and great decorations, but if the foundation is crumbling, nothing else matters. These minerals are your metabolic foundation. Get this right, and everything else becomes easier. Your exercise becomes more effective, your diet works better, your energy improves, your quality of life transforms. I've been practicing medicine for over 2 decades, and I can tell you without hesitation that addressing mineral deficiencies is one of the most underutilized yet powerful interventions we have for healthy aging. I've seen patients who were resigned to wheelchairs walk again. I've seen people who thought their active life was over return to hiking, dancing, and playing with grandchildren. I've seen marriages improve when one partner regained their energy and engagement with life. Your body wants to be strong, energetic, and functional. It's trying to maintain your muscle mass and vitality, but it can't do that without the right tools. These 3 minerals are essential tools that your body is desperately asking for, especially after 60. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. First, if you're over 60 and experiencing muscle weakness, chronic fatigue, poor sleep, or muscle cramps, don't just accept it as inevitable aging. Get proper testing for mineral deficiencies. Second, have an informed conversation with your doctor about whether mineral supplementation might benefit you. Go to that appointment prepared with information about your symptoms, your diet, and your concerns. Third, if you and your doctor decide supplementation is appropriate, be patient and consistent. Give it at least 3 months to see significant results. Your body needs time to rebuild and recover. Fourth, combine mineral supplementation with other healthy aging strategies: adequate protein, regular movement, quality sleep, and stress management. Fifth, monitor your progress. Keep a journal of your energy levels, sleep quality, and physical capabilities. Sometimes the changes are so gradual that you don't notice them day to day, but when you look back over 3 or 6 months, the transformation is remarkable. Most importantly, don't give up on yourself. The narrative that declining muscle mass, chronic fatigue, and loss of independence are inevitable parts of aging is wrong. Yes, aging brings changes, but the degree of decline you experience is largely within your control. You have more power over your health trajectory than you've been led to believe. I've seen 70-year-olds who are stronger and more energetic than 50-year-olds who've neglected their health. I've seen 80-year-olds regain strength and independence they thought were gone forever. Age is just a number. What matters is how well you take care of the incredible machine that is your body. If you found this video helpful, please share it with friends or family members who might be struggling with these issues. Leave your questions and experiences in the comments. What symptoms are you dealing with? What concerns do you have about muscle loss or energy decline? I read every comment and use your feedback to create more content that addresses your real concerns. Remember, this information is educational and not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making changes to your supplement regimen or health routine. But armed with this knowledge, You can have an informed conversation with your doctor and take proactive steps toward maintaining your strength, energy, and independence for years to come. Thank you for watching, and here's to your health, vitality, and many more years of active, engaged living.